What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to G-Miles World Podcast. Today we're going to be talking Ravens Saints Monday Night Football recap, NFL Week 9, 2022. It was complete domination. I do believe that the entire Saints coaching staff should be fired. But before we get into why I feel like that, we're going to talk about some of the good things. And some of the good things is the Ravens have won their third straight game out of 4. All right. Pretty good overall win, offensively, defensively, and special teams. I didn't really see a lot that was crazy, other than Marcus Peters giving up a late play and acting like a baby on the sideline. I didn't really see anything where it's like, oh my God, something's going on as far as the Ravens go, right? So the way that Lamar Jackson looks, I really like what I'm seeing with that situation. Okay, overall with the run game, Kenyon Drake, a lot of things that they've added looks pretty good. With everything that is trying to make them a playoff contender. My biggest issue with the Ravens is throughout the whole broadcast, I kept hearing that the organization takes care of their players, they do the right thing by their players, and I'm saying to myself, didn't they not sign Lamar Jackson? Like, I don't, like, this is what happens, right? When people act as if everything is okay and we know that it's not, we have to stop acting like it's normal. Lamar Jackson should have already had his contract. And what I believe can happen is Lamar Jackson can leave the Ravens. I think they can franchise tag him at least one more time after this year, and that's it. But I do believe that I maybe he does love the city, but the city has to understand you don't treat your star players like that. And he was in his bag yesterday. You know what I'm saying, bro? Like, the dude is a very dangerous runner. And once he solidifies the passing of the football from the pocket or on the run, because he missed a lot of wide open throws when he was on the run. He overthrew a lot of players. So he still has to work on a lot of his technique. But he's a dominant force. And people fear having to deal with him just because he may go for 6 at any given time. All right. So a lot of that is what I was listening to them talk, and it's just like, oh my goodness, bro. Yeah, the Ravens may be a solid organization, but this was a mistake, in my opinion, to not take care of your star quarterback. That's just something that I believe. I believe that he should not re-sign with the Ravens. It's nothing personal, Raven fans. I'm just saying you got to have some type of business etiquette. And this was not really in the best interest of the Ravens. If you're going to treat him like that and make it seem like you want to see more when he's already had an MVP, you already know what he is, and you have to do it this way. So I didn't like that. All right. And similar to Joe Flacco. Joe Flacco's garbage, bro, but he won them a Super Bowl and then they overpaid him. And I understand you don't want to make the same mistake, but this is entirely different. I do believe Lamar Jackson overall, with the exception when Flacco was in his bag as far as throwing the football, bigger arm, things like that. But overall, I think with the way that they base their offense, 80%, 70% of the snaps, the fullback is in. Like, the offense is geared towards a player like Lamar Jackson. And I think they made a huge mistake. So, like I said, overall, I would take Lamar Jackson over Joe Flacco any day of the week. And just something that I was thinking, I wanted to get that off my chest to let you guys know what I was feeling throughout the entirety of the game, hearing all these good things about the Raven organization. All right, now, let's talk about the actual game. The Ravens held the Saints to 243 yards, the fewest for the New Orleans Saints this season. Now, let me just say something about Andy Dalton. He's not good. All right, he's not a good football player. All right, he sucks. It's a lot going on that we don't need to talk about, but he's not good. Jameis Winston is obviously better, but we don't really know what we're going to get out of him either. It's a very diabolical situation right now because Taysom Hill, who was a tight end, a special teams player, the janitor, he's the real estate agent for the stadium. Like, he's everything there. And, not even he could do anything yesterday. So the Ravens are playing great defense. They're doing what's needed to be done in order to get them to where they need to go. I just fear that what's going to happen is the same thing. The Ravens in the AFC are going to go to the playoffs, right? And they're going to lose. And then people are going to be like, look, you see, that's why they didn't pay Lamar Jackson. And a lot of players are playing that don't even make the playoffs that make a lot more money than Lamar Jackson. So this is where it gets kind of iffy because it's like, if he doesn't win a Super Bowl, we're not going to pay him type thing. And that's just not realistic. But overall, the way that they're playing, I think that they're solid enough on both sides of the ball. And keep in mind, Lamar Jackson played without Pro Bowl tight end Mark Andrews. Okay? Number 1 wide receiver Rashad Bateman out for the season with a foot injury. And his top 2 running backs, J.K. Dobbins, all right, and Gus Edwards. And the dude still went out there and put this together. Another thing that happened, right, as we go ahead and scroll down through this, Justin Houston was out of his mind yesterday. It was just ridiculous. Picking the ball up with 8:24 left. And then obviously we already know Kenyon Drake went and scored the touchdown. it's a real bad situation when Andy Dalton, aka the Red Rocket, is your quarterback under center. And I actually tweeted it out. A lot of you 504 fans are probably missing that noodle arm guy. Remember that guy, Drew Brees, noodle arm? Late in his career, he looked awful, but he was still able to throw the ball accurately, short and stuff like that. Right now, this team sucks, and we got to figure out what needs to go. So as we look at it, I can tell you this, right? Obviously, this season is a wash, all right, for the Saints. Like, you can, right now, I think between them and the Raiders, they're probably some of the more disappointing teams, but I think the Raiders are probably more disappointing. Because it's like, yo, what are you doing? The Colts are a complete disaster. But just looking overall, people thought that Andy Dalton, because he had a little bit of success with the Cowboys when he played a couple games, that he would be suitable to play for the Saints. But I got to tell you, bro, he's really awful. And I know I've said it a lot, but I got to make sure you guys understand. I've never really been a fan of Andy Dalton, even, when he was, throwing the ball to that other 6'4" guy that's now with the Cardinals, AJ Green. But again, I look at what the quarterback's doing and I try to figure out, can this guy make reads? Can he, make the right play without just throwing the ball up in the air randomly? Similar pet peeve that I have with like quarterbacks like, Dante Culpepper. If he doesn't have Randy Moss and Chris Carter, he's not even in the discussion of, people saying, yeah, he probably should be in the Hall of Fame because of the yards that he put up and the things that he did. But when he got traded to Miami, we saw what happened. So look, listen, this is the bottom line about everything that's going on. There's a lot of disappointment right now overall with the team. There's a lot going on. The Packers, stuff like that, they're very, very disappointing. But we still have to understand it's a few things that are going to make the Ravens a little bit more contender bound, right? When he gets the tight end back, when Andrews comes back and his running backs come back, remember, these guys ground and pound, pistol, it has to be real disgusting to play the Ravens. And it's annoying. And I think that because of those things, they're going to be a threat. I just believe, like I'm telling you right now, once they go to the playoffs, people are going to lock up. The playoffs is a whole different atmosphere. And I just don't want it to come back to the fact that, look, he didn't go to the Super Bowl. Don't pay Lamar Jackson. I just don't want to see that overall. And that's what, throughout the entire game, that's all I was thinking. It's just really, really unfortunate. So now, when we think about this, right, and the fact that, the Saints are just out, and then we think about Tom Brady, he got that, late win against the Rams, and we realize the Rams are not the same team. Now we got to start thinking about the playoff picture. You see what I'm saying, bro? Like the NFC, like what are we doing? Are the Eagles really the team? Let me know in the comments. Because I believe right now with the way the league is going, we don't really know what's going on. Okay? We have no idea. Week 9, I can't tell you. I thought the Bills were a lock for the Super Bowl. And I know a lot of you guys did too. I thought Josh Allen was a lock for MVP. I don't think he's going to win it anymore. I don't think whatever he does going outside of what just happened when they lost to the Jets, I don't think he's going to win the MVP simply because of that. You can't lose to the New York Football Jets. Like, you can't do it, but he did it. And then he had the nerve to say that he played like garbage. Everybody saw it. We all know you played like garbage, but that's not what it's about. So just start looking at the playoff picture, right? You got the Ravens. The Ravens are going to the playoffs. I believe with that record 6-3, they're going to continue to win. They're going to the playoffs. We got to watch out for the Browns when they get Deshaun Watson back. Well, I was going to say Deshaun Jackson because he played last night and he was looking pretty good till he had that hamstring injury or something he was doing on the sideline. But again, this is what I'm focused on. Just understand, we got to fire the entire coaching staff of the Saints, rebuild that. I saw Sean Payton running his mouth talking about, he's going to be a free agent and Lamar Jackson going to be a free agent. Dude, I don't know what's going on with that. But the end of the day is this, right? The Saints are done for the season. So all you 504 boys, don't worry about it, bro. I'm not hating. I'm just telling you guys what I actually saw. And the Ravens have a lot of upside going. I do believe they make the playoffs easily, obviously, with the remaining record that they have. But again, I'm more concerned about the fact that people are saying that the organization does the right thing by their players and Lamar Jackson still wasn't able to get a deal. And I think he, obviously he's a franchise quarterback. I want to thank you guys and girls for watching. Hopefully you have a blessed day. I'm going to see you guys and girls next time. One love, y'all.